Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide today as we trace how a 400-year-old literary giant lives on in our modern world. And honestly, we aren't just talking about dusty old books or highbrow theatrical performances, though, let's be real, those are pretty wonderful too. Today, we're going to explore how William Shakespeare's unparalleled legacy is kept alive, not just on the stage, but through some surprisingly modern, quirky, and just incredibly creative cultural merchandise. It's a really fascinating journey from classical high art right down to everyday pop culture. So let's jump right in.
Consider this our playbill for today's explainer. We've got 1. The Bard's lasting legacy. 2. Royal Shakespeare Theatre. 3. Classic plays and quotes. 4. Stage props and crossovers. And finally, 5. Collector editions and books.
Okay, Section 1. The Bard's Lasting Legacy. So, William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616. He is widely regarded as the absolute greatest writer in the English language. Born and raised in Stratford-upon-Avon, his creative output was, well, it was simply staggering. We're talking approximately 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems. These are monumental tragedies like Hamlet and Macbeth, brilliant comedies like A Midsummer Night's Dream, and gripping histories like Henry V. But you might be wondering, why does he still matter globally today? Well, it's because he literally expanded the English vocabulary that we use every single day. Plus, he created characters with such complex psychological depth that they still perfectly resonate with our modern human experience.
Moving on to Section 2. Royal Shakespeare Theatre. Right in his hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon sits the world-renowned Royal Shakespeare Theatre, or the RST. It serves as the home base for the famous Royal Shakespeare Company. Following a major, and I mean major, renovation back in 2010, the theater's primary mission has really been to keep Shakespeare's work contemporary and accessible, all while training the absolute finest actors in classical theater. But honestly, the real magic here, it lies in the architectural design. The theater uses what's called a thrust stage, or shanchushiki butai. Basically, this means the stage visually reaches out. It literally extends right into the auditorium, and the audience is seated on 3 sides of the actors. It creates this incredibly unique one-room shared space. It completely breaks down that invisible barrier between the performer and the audience. It creates this unbelievable intimacy that makes a 400-year-old play feel immediate, like it's happening right there in your living room. All right, Section 3, Classic Plays and Quotes. So, if we look at what the RSC and other prominent shops are doing, cultural merchandise basically falls into 5 distinct categories: play-themed collections, creative words and insults, stage and props, crossovers and modern flips, and collector editions. Let's dig into those first 2. It is incredibly fascinating how these shops take abstract, high art literary themes and turn them into tangible goods. Take The Tempest, for instance. The RSC shop offers these beautifully designed tote bags, herbal pillows, and really lovely lavender hanging bags that feature quotes straight from the play. I mean, you can buy a small lavender sack printed with, "We are such stuff," or a wooden magnet that reads, "Pray you, tread softly." It's just a very sensory, cozy way to bring a little piece of classical literature into your own home. And then, of course, we have the words themselves. "Though she be but little, she is fierce." We've all heard that famously punchy quote from A Midsummer Night's Dream, right? It, along with the iconic "to be or not to be," finds its way onto everything from coasters to coffee mugs. But my absolute personal favorite? The Shakespearean insults merchandise. Shakespeare's vocabulary was so rich that gift shops actually sell magnet sets that let you piece together creative, elegant, 400-year-old insults to stick right on your refrigerator. It's just a hilarious way to use classical English in your everyday life.
Section 4. Stage Props and Crossovers.
Now we are getting to what I think is the most surprising stuff, where high theater culture brilliantly collides with modern pop culture. Let's start with items drawn directly from the stage. Now, these aren't your typical cheap, mass-produced souvenirs. No way. If you visit the shop at Shakespeare's Globe down in London, you can purchase actual replica stage props. Think ancient scrolls or those vintage-style letters they use in the performances. Meanwhile, the Royal Shakespeare Company does something really cool. They take leftover fabrics from their elite costume workshop and upcycle them into exclusive accessories like bow ties. So fans aren't just buying a logo, they are literally owning a piece of the theater's craftsmanship. Okay, time for a quick pop quiz. What in the world does the beloved Japanese anime icon My Neighbor Totoro have to do with William Shakespeare? Seriously, think about it for a second. It sounds like the most random pairing ever, doesn't it?
Well, here is your answer. The Royal Shakespeare Company recently produced a massive, award-winning stage adaptation of Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor Totoro, which is actually transferring to the Gillian Lynn Theatre. Because of this, if you browse the RSC's classical theater shop right now, you are going to find large, gray and blue Totoro plushies and Totoro beanbags sitting right next to heavy Shakespearean texts. It's just a delightful culture clash.
But it goes beyond Totoro. The modern crossovers are just brilliantly tasteful and honestly, really funny. You can buy rubber ducks fully dressed in authentic Tudor clothing. You can get Lego figures printed with Shakespeare's iconic portrait. There is even a whole line of trendy streetwear and accessories playing on the visual of Shakespeare's beard. This kind of fun modern flip is crucial because it ensures that the Bard's legacy doesn't feel intimidating. It makes him completely accessible to a brand new generation of fans.
And finally, Section 5. Collector editions and books. So the books and special editions out there really do cater to every conceivable level of fandom. For the absolute purist, there is the Holy Grail replica editions of the 1623 First Folio. For those who love a more playful lifestyle crossover, well, there's a literal recipe book titled Much Ado About Cooking, but it also gets deeply personal and profound. Take Greg Dorn's book Walking Shadow, Love, Loss, and Shakespeare. Doran actually stepped down as artistic director of the RSC after the passing of his husband, the actor Anthony Sher. During the 400th anniversary of the First Folio, Doran traveled the world tracking down these rare books. He blended a deeply moving memoir of grief with theatrical history. So you see, the merchandise here isn't just trinkets, it's profound storytelling.
Ultimately, how you choose to consume this legacy depends entirely on the exact vibe you are looking for. If you head to the RSC shop in Stratford-upon-Avon, you're getting a highly professional experience deeply tied to their current stage seasons. Now, if you want something classical, historic, and slightly rugged, the Globe shop in London is your perfect bet. And if you are looking for more of a cozy, memorial, English afternoon tea style souvenir, the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust is absolutely the place for you.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. We've traveled from the incredibly intimate thrust stage all the way to the delightful humor of a classical theater gift shop. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. How will you choose to experience this 400-year-old legacy? Will you watch a grand tragedy unfold on a one-room stage? Will you dive deep into the text of a 1623 First Folio? Or will you simply take home a Tudor-cloth rubber duck? However you choose to engage, the brilliant words and the enduring world of Shakespeare are waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.